Hi guys, today I want to talk a little bit with you about like young people and the emotion of anger. There might be many of us who feel angry during the time of the pandemic because of isolation or things not really working the way how we want them to be. And especially for young people, anger is an emotion that is not easily navigated and left unchecked. It can sometimes go out of control or turn into aggression and while anger is a very natural emotion and it's okay for us to feel angry, it's not always acceptable. And anger is something that needs to be worked with because there's typically a reason why young people are angry, and to be able to guide and help them, it's important for us to gain a little bit more insight and understanding in young people's anger, and use that as an opportunity. And for that, it's important to realize that there's different kind of angers. First anger is when teenagers or young people are out of control, and that is typically when things don't go the way they want them to. Like on one hand, they want to venture out and they want to become that independent person, but on the other hand, they still want to be loved by their peers. And often that struggle between like immaturity and selfishness is something that's really tough to deal with for them. So it's for us, it's important that we remind them that it's okay that they feel angry, but that dishonesty or disrespect is not. So it's important that uh, when we realize that young people are dishonest and disrespectful, that is anger out of control. And how can we help? It's really important that we have to determine, does the anger stem from something that we are doing? Is it coming from like a social issue? Is it an internal issue, maybe something that they're frustrated about? And then it's really about talking with them about it. So, not shutting down that anger, but really learn about the child by asking lots of questions until you find that reason. Then we experience teenagers or young people that have this silent anger, like this passive aggressiveness, right? That usually roots in like being depressive. So if you've seen like a young person that always seems a little bit broody or very low on energy, or just silently sucks through life, or being like passive aggressive, that's when you know that there's something going on, and it needs to be addressed right away. Because it can make the child sick, but also other people. And a young person who suppresses that emotion versus expressing it might be more prone to self medicate, because they might be having a lot of painful feelings, and to avoid them, they usually tend to go to alcohol or drugs. So it's really important that when we see a person like that we address this kind of passive aggressiveness right away, because there's something underlying going on. And for that to be able to help them is to help them recognize what they are feeling, even if it can be scary, because they might express something really angrily. It's really important to help them by asking questions so they can sort it out. So we have to really learn to be available to talk to them, go with them for a walk or grab a coffee, really connect with this young person, and then really inviting them to express their anger appropriately, and maybe in the beginning through like sports or boxing or anything like that, but just getting that anger out in different ways, because it's really, really important. Otherwise, again, it makes that person sick and also very prone to using drug and alcohol, and possibly doing something that they would later regret. So really, really important to tell them it's important to express their anger appropriately, by asking lots of questions. And then the third kind of anger is kids who are very aggressive. And we all get mad from time to time, but when anger turns into like violence or physical abuse possibly, then that's something that cannot be tolerated. And a kid who's intentionally trying to provoke or anger somebody or offend somebody out of anger, it's very important to know that there needs to be a consequence. um, and it's also for us to help that young person to understand what's driving it, right? Because again, anger can be very damaging. So when a young person lashes out, then uh, it's a sign of something going on. So getting to the bottom of that issue is vital to turning things around. Again, if the young person is violent, it's important to give it help and seek help through a professional. It's not tolerant, like it can't be tolerated if it's violent. Um, and what we can do is by staying calm and putting a consequence in place. Super, super important, but really getting to the bottom of why that person or young person is aggressive. So again, just as a summary, anger is a display, an expression that there is something that's going on for that young person, that they want something different in their lives, but they don't really know how to make it happen. It's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to destroy themselves or relationships or be disrespectful, dishonest. And that's where we have to help young people learn how to control their anger, by expressing their feelings appropriately, and then motivating them to moving on to something bigger and better and helping others, so that they can turn that anger into something more practically, and something that's for a better good. And really showing them how to control their emotions, while trying to connect with them and building a relationship so that they can express themselves. So I really hope this helped. Lots of love. Bye bye.